Now, this time we're going to see if it will actually connect me and let me go on this thing. It's a magical world of wonder. There we go. Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to Yorkshire. So, this is not anything like your normal YouTube video that I've done. This is a test, so feel free to stop now. There's no race here. But if you want to look around Yorkshire, you're very welcome to stay for a bit. I'm going to be riding the Harrogate course for the next little bit. And here's here. Go around the first corner, start this long hill. The purpose of this is to see if the quality of the webcam is any better now. So I've got a new camera, having upgraded the last one that we've had for a few years. And this one is supposed to be a higher quality one. Certainly it looks better on my own computer. So I thought we'll do a little test here. I'll plug it into YouTube and we'll do some streaming, and then we'll see what it actually looks like on YouTube when it's been through, you know, being uploaded to the internet, being codeced and decodeced and everything else it needs to do before it actually ends up on a YouTube page being presented. I haven't changed the audio. I've still got the little microphone here as if I'm running some kind of, you know, Peloton training, because they have ones like this, don't they? But I'll try and keep the crackles and snaps to a minimum. I know some of the other Zwift YouTubers have got fancy setups with big microphones in front of them and everything, so I haven't got any of that stuff. So the purpose of this is just to get around, go around once, see how it looks on the camera, and meanwhile do a little Friday ride whilst we're at it. So those of you who've been following will know the reason I've been doing any of this really is because of what's above my head, the California Coast Classic, which is a charity fondo ride for the Arthritis Foundation, which is an annual event. It's going to be its 20th year this year, and the ride is from San Francisco to Los Angeles, and I've been raising money through the year. People have been very, very generous. They've been fantastic. If you watch the earlier videos, you'll see, you know, it's slowly creeping along. We got to the point where we were doing like the duck on the head when we got to $1,000, and people were really, really generous. We got through really the last $2,000. Once we got over the halfway mark, we really were able to blow past the last couple of thousand very quickly. The amount raised you'll see is actually greater than the goal, which is great for us. So that is fantastic. The bad news, for those of you who don't know it yet, is that this year I will not be going to California and riding from San Francisco to Los Angeles. The organising committee of the California Coast Classic were not able to get all the permits they needed by the end of July. Today is the 31st of July. We heard 2 days ago that the organisers were not able to get the permits they need to safely have 250 riders going through every county and city down through from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I think it's 7 counties. Countless cities, an awful lot of cities. We've got some, but as you know, the COVID rate is going up in California, so they were not able to get everything, and they're like a hard deadline at the end of July, really for planning purposes. So instead what they've done, we are going to be doing the California Coast Classic, but it's going to be different. And so it's going to be, they're calling it the virtual CCC, or remote CCC, and it's not going to be everyone riding together. Basically, for the month of October, and primarily the first week or two, those who have signed up, like myself and about 275 others, we're going to be doing the 525 miles that we need to do remotely. So instead of flying out to California and doing it in a week, we get the opportunity to log our miles. I presume using Strava, they haven't said yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be using Strava. How far we've gone, we've done, you know, get some photos, get some social media action. God, set this up. I always forget how steep this is coming up here. I think like we're coming out of Harrogate, right? And we're coming towards a bit where there are some real lumpy parts, some real up bits. I always forget about this bit. It always gets me. I was basically flat, and it's not, 5% is not flat. Anyway, here we go. What are you pushing, 140 watts? Okay. So, the Moat California Coast Classic happening in October. So what we do, because I'm based in North Carolina, as I think all of you know, the Charlotte area, I've been looking at some rides that can be done. I've looked online, I've looked at a fantastic book that I got from my birthday called Great Rides of the Americas. It includes rides up in the Appalachians. So, right now, without giving too much away and without promising something we can't deliver, I think the plan is we're going to do a day or two in the Appalachians on the Bridge Parkway in the Asheville, North Carolina. Do some of that, and then do some of it here on Zwift, because those of you who are following my training on Zwift will know you can do routes, especially in Watopia, that really approximate the stages of the California Coast Classic. For example, day 4 of the California Coast Classic is 73 miles and about 6,000 feet of climbing, 3 big mountains in there. And a week and a half ago, I was on the, look at this, -8%, look at the top right hand, you'll see the -9. It's nice, but it means there's a hill coming. Enjoy it while you got it, boys. Ah, dear. So anyway, was I? Yeah, we're going to Asheville, do the Blue Ridge Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway. But also, because it's supposed to be the California Coast Classic, the idea is also thinking we can go out to the Outer Banks. So those of you who know North Carolina, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those who don't know North Carolina, imagine the east coast of North America. Come down from New York, and there's a bit that kind of juts out into the ocean before jumping back in. And that's the Outer Banks of North Carolina. With places, names like Hawk and Nag's Head. The Wright brothers first flew an aeroplane. A monument up there. There's also lighthouses. There's an island. You can go to a ferry, where apparently they have the strongest accent you've ever heard. And there's a road, apart from the ferry bits, there's a road that goes down most of the Outer Banks. So going north to south, doing that over a couple of days as well. Yeah. And then doing something on Zwift, as I was saying, you can approximate it. About a week and a half ago, I did basically day 4, 73 miles. I think I did 75 total, and I was about 100 feet short of climbing. But I did, 3 big mountains as part of it. So you can approximate those things as well. So the idea is get about 525 miles done virtually and in person out in the real world as well. Get it all done. Strava is the California Classic Remote for 2020. It also means for those of you who want to follow it, 2021 will be back in California, assuming that there are things like vaccines available. It should be by then, or at least it will have calmed down. And so I don't get automatically registered for it, but I will probably choose to do it unless something surprising comes up. And we will need to do a little bit of fundraising for that one for next year, obviously, because although I've raised the money for this year, the Arthritis Foundation does not stop needing money. In fact, they've had to cut several positions, even of people that we know, just recently that we've been involved with, which is really sad to see. So we want to continue to raise money for that. So next year we'll be looking to do something similar, raise money for the Arthritis Foundation, and actually go to California next year. This year, remote CCC, instead of remote XCC one, Fennel's getting into the Fourth Musketeer. No need for that yet. And so that is what's going on. And so we've raised our goal, but we are looking at a remote ride. I will get details out when we start planning the routes. The good thing is it can be more of a family thing, I think, for us. As you know, Hannah, who's 9, about to turn 10, does have juvenile arthritis, particularly in her toes and her fingers. That's why I'm doing this. That's why we even got into the Arthritis Foundation, and how we know about it is because of Hannah. She right now can't ride a bike because of her fingers. She can't hold the handlebars and pull the brakes. And it's quite sad to see it, especially as we are a good cycling family, as you know. But I think her fingers are improving slightly. We tried some new medication recently, and it's looking promising. And we're hopeful in a couple of months she'll be clear. Amelia also does Zwift quite a lot. We don't track it on Strava or anything, but if you're on Zwift, you can actually look Amelia up, and she'll do 9-10 miles at a go, which is great. Now, back to the world of Yorkshire for a moment. This hill, coming up here, I mentioned it in one of the races once, you get some serious speed up. Look at the speed in the middle there, 28, 29 miles an hour. We are about to drop down this hill, which if you do it in the real world is actually quite dangerous, especially when the road is wet, which it often is in Yorkshire. On Zwift, you can't crash. So you just blast down it as fast as you can. And then you try and get up the other side. Look at this, 45 miles an hour. We're going to hit 50. Come on, let's hit 50 miles an hour. 49, 50, there we go, 51. We're still going down. Fantastic. And then it starts going up the other side and you go, oh no. I think my gear might be too large. Drop another one. There we go. Love that bit. What's not fun, if you do this course in reverse and you have to go up that hill, that's not nice. That is, I like those short, sharp hills. That is too sharp for me. 15-16%. And a little bit too long. Do not like that one. There we go, back to 4% now. Riding on, done 3.5 miles. We are coming up, we've left Harrogate, for those of you who know Yorkshire, out to the west of Harrogate. And we are, heading uphill here. We're about to make the turn in about a mile or so, make a turn to the right. And then we go down a hill over a little bridge, which in the real world is a one-way bridge with traffic lights that you've got to be careful on. Again, in Zwift, you don't have to stop, you just go for it. So, here we go. And we are catching up with someone. Let's see. Haven't talked about this very much, but we have the Zwift Companion app. So this is my little app on the phone as I overtake P. Brown. Let's see who P. Brown is, because you can look people up and stalk them just a little bit. It's kind of fun. Pat Brown. All we know about Pat Brown, male from the United States and private, so we don't know what level they're at, having done 12 miles so far. Next person, T. Hall. Let's have a look. Tony Hall. Not the Tony Hall, I presume. No, doesn't look like it. Oh, he's huge. Again, a private user. Let's give him a ride on, give him a thumbs up. So I've done that. Now, both these people, if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see their names. You can also see they've got what looks like a little bar graph above the distance of how far they are behind me. That means they're doing training, like structured training. One of the things Zwift does. I'm on a free ride. The only thing you'll see next to me is that kind of oblong shape the sort of empty rectangle. That's because I'm using the companion app, but they signify if a user is using the little app. So the person I just overtook then is called P. Cook. Oh, goodness me. Phil Cook, 50 years old and has a picture of 2 dogs, another private user. Let's give him a ride on. Now here's they're up ahead of me now. Squirrel of Destiny on the left. So here we go, around the corner. Now we're going to put the gears up again to do the downhill. Go past the purple fields. There we go. Nice high gear. Raise the watts. 267 watts. And again, those of you who are following me earlier in the year and all those races that I did were able to hold 210, 225 consistently. 250, 260 is my limit. It's gone up slightly. I'm able to hold 225 now. But I think my max is still 257, 20. Sorry for 5 minutes. But it's 227 or 235 or something. I think it's 227 for 20 minutes, which I did the other day, doing a ride around Paris, the new world of Paris. It's very exciting. Not a lot of watts needed here though, because we're going downhill. We're going to need 7% down. Could even just sit back and wait. Yeah, look, I'm into the super tuck because it's 7% gradient or more, and I'm going greater than 33 miles an hour. So I just sit here, have a little nap while my guy gets there picking up speed. Coming to the bottom of the hill though, here we are. Got to start up again, and here's this bridge. We're going to swing left. Again, a one-way traffic bridge. There's the traffic lights. We're just going to go through it. A little flash on the left, and the thing that's come up now tells you that it's actually a climb. And I did Yorkshire a week or so ago. Right, 0.7 miles to the top of the climb. Estimated time 4:10. My 30-day personal record 3:56. So I'm actually outside that right now. I don't know if I should go for it or not. Then we're going to start passing a few people. So this hill is always a bit longer than I think. I'm never entirely happy going up it because it's just a bit too long. Like, you get to halfway and you think, oh, that's nice. It levels off as you go with this mini roundabout, and then it's like, oh, the end's in sight. And then it picks up to 67% again. You know, to the top of it. I need to drop my gears. You can see putting out 220 odd watts there, but my RPMs were really low, anything below 50. A bit dangerous for your legs, putting too much pressure on your knees. Now, when I was younger, I did a lot of cycling. As a teenager and in my early 20s, did a lot of cycling. The hills around Devon, not so many around Hampshire, there are some. And I used to do that thing with gears and use my strength to really push through using low RPMs. I don't know what the figures were because I didn't have the figures back then, but it's not good for my knees. I actually sustained some knee damage and had physiotherapy at one point for that. Don't do that. It's better to spin. But I think there is value to it because not everyone is, you know, Iro Quintana or a Chris Froome. You see Chris Froome halfway up those mountains. He wants to make an attack. He drops a gear and kind of puts his legs into a spin cycle like he's a washing machine. He goes, brrr. He's crazy. And off he goes and no one can follow him because he's phenomenal like that. On the other hand, physiologically, Chris Froome is built like an alien, like one of those aliens out in New Mexico. So what are you going to do? They are finding in the professional peloton now, well, here's the mini roundabout halfway. They're finding in the pro peloton that people are a lot better at, or not a bit better, but there is value in having a lot of strength in your legs, your thighs, even for longer mountains, and being able to do lower RPMs, more strength, and push it out without it being quite so cardio. So here we go. Let's overtake a few more people. Oh. Yeah, I'm not breaking any records here. ETA is not a million miles off what I did the other day, and I feel okay. If you look up in the top right where the gradient is, you'll also see the map, and the little red arch at the top of that is the finish line for this climb. So that's what I'm aiming for. Let's speed up a little bit. See if we can get there sometime soon. But again, we're not going to beat the record. So here we go. Last little bit. Up. Move gear up. 4%. Nearly at the top. 300 feet to go. Here we go. Nice. And it's going to be what, 409? 409. Isn't that song by the Beach Boys? Whew. Right, let me get my breath back. Oh, that's better. So, opportunity for a drink. Oh. That's nice. Oh, better keep going. Got a power up at the top of the hill. He gave me a aero helmet, which is okay. I prefer having a feather to go up the hill at Betty's Tea Rooms at the end, but this will do. Maybe I'll use this one for the sprint. It's coming up in a moment. So we're on our way back almost into the centre of Harrogate now. There's actually a place where the two little loops meet. We're going to swing left and go up past the Royal Pump House and Millionaire's Row, and then we'll swing around in a circle before coming back for the final climb to Betty's Tea Rooms. And in this next bit there is a sprint, like a green sector, which is largely flat, and they do timing on it to see how well you're doing on it. You would see that actually. They put it up on the screen, but they put it on the left-hand side, which is exactly where I've got my camera and the California Coast Classic banner. So you never get to see that stuff. Normally I'm streaming races, so it doesn't matter. But today they are showing it. Who's this dude? It's a French person. El Guerriere. Let's look them up. Let's see who they are. Oh, goodness me. Wait for the app to refresh itself. What kind of name is that? Is that Luke or something? Loic Guerriere. Level 14 only. 25 years old. 5'9" from France. Give him a ride on. There we go. And they're doing a free ride just like me, but no app. Oh. Alright. Back to the map. And on we go. Alright. Now my personal record for doing the course is 27:12. As you can see at the moment I'm at 26:31. I'm not going to be threatening that. I'm going to be about 32 minutes for the course. Partly because earlier on, when I was going to set up this video, I set everything up, started streaming, got on the bike, started pedaling, and it went nowhere. It turns out the Zwift, for whatever reason, disconnected. So at that point it said I had started the loop. It's no good for me. Anyway, that's why my time is off. Here's the sprint. Let's see what we can do with this one. Let's use the helmet. And oh yeah, 30-day personal record is 28. It's looking good. 24 right now. Short little sector, there's the finish line. Here we go. Oh, oh yeah. Boom. Whoop whoop. 24:33. Happy with that new personal record. Oh, well, at least for the last 30 days. All right, coming towards the end of the Harrogate loop then. Whew. Up this little rise, we go, where do we go? Back into town in just a moment. This is Millionaires Row. All the millionaires in Harrogate all live next door to each other. Why? I don't know. Oh, it gave me another aero helmet, I've just realised. Oh well. Part of the reason for using the last one was to use it up and see if it would give me a feather instead. Oh no! On the other hand, it's not a truck, which I don't like. So, here we are, coming up to the end of it, into town. I'm going to swing right in a moment, got a little fake to the left, and then we swing to the right, and I'm back into town. And then up the big hill at the end. Now, those of you who've seen me do the Yorkshire race before, or watched the other video on YouTube, or you're familiar with Zwift, will know, or if you watched the World Championships last year, UCI World Championships in September, you'll know there's this ramp at the end, which frankly the professionals made look ridiculously easy. I mean, the final lap they had, who was it? Nicky Terpstra, Mads Peterson, and someone else kind of streamed there like it's a 10%. Most of the users do not do that. In fact, most of the users slowly, and it's the right length for me to do, where I put it into a big turn on the pedals, pound out, and overtake them. So after a race, I'll often make up some places on the climb to Betty's Tea Rooms. Not far from here. In fact, if this road went straight, we would go straight to the hill. This road does not quite go straight, so I'm going to be swinging to the right, and then round to the left, and then we'll be on the hill. So, here we go. See, up ahead is actually the hill, but we have to swing right first because that's what they do for the circuit. Here we go then. Oh, get some speed up. What gear are we in? Higher one than that, I think. Let's go for that one. It's the gear I normally do when I'm on a flat. Probably have to drop it by one. Let's see. Back to the centre of town. This is where we were a minute ago. This little four-way switch. Now we're going to swing left, and then this takes us towards the what they called, the Cold Bath Brewing Company or something, aren't they? Cold Draft, I don't remember what they're called. Anyway, they're at the bottom of the hill. Betty's Tea Rooms is at the top. And here we go. Well, I use the helmet. I might as well use the helmet. I'm not going to have the energy to use it in a minute. Drop one gear. Here we go, 10%. 8, 9, 10, there it is. And 0.3 miles to go to the end of the course. We're going to catch these people. Here's this someone from Brazil. Alright. Someone from America. See how slow they're going. That 10% hill can just take it out of you. And it actually is a very long finishing straight. It stays here at about 2% all the way to the finish. Maybe the last 100 meters it's flat. But you've got to keep going. Last building on the right is Betty's Tea Room. Raise the watts. Here we go. Past another person. Come up here. The memorial on the left. Here's the finish line. Lots of people stopped here. This is the point where you start, actually. Get on your bike. This is where it puts you into the world. Let's get past these folks. Finishing time 32:28. Not good, but not bad. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining me on this tour of Yorkshire, brief as it was. Hopefully the video's good. We're back for some more live YouTubing, maybe some races, and we will see how it goes. Thank you everyone